Quick disclaimer, this video is meant for educational purposes only. Everything I say in this video is my opinion.
Hey, what's up traders? In this video, I'm going to be continuing this series where I give my initial reviews on different prop firms. A lot of them are pretty not so well known. So in this video, today's video, I'm going to be talking about FMS Funding Made Simple. A lot of you guys asked for it, so here it is. In this video, just like all the other videos in this series, I'll be using letter grades to represent different aspects of this company. The aspects I'll be rating for FMS traders is design, easy to find core rules, core parameters, cost and value, amount of hidden rules, weird rules and other, broker, customer service, reputation, and I'll give my overall opinion and maybe a little bit extra facts as well in there. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so looking at the website, now we can see Trade Our Company's capital receive 80% of profits and bi-weekly payouts. We cover losses. Now, every prop firm covers the losses, so that part's not special, but I really like how they show right away the 80% and bi-weekly payouts. On the very front of the page, it's really nice to see that right away in your face. These are the best parameters of the entire prop firm, so there it is right in front of you for you to see. So now if you scroll down a little bit, you can see a pretty average website. I'm gonna go through it pretty quickly. Again, don't pay too much attention to the exact parameters and everything just yet. I'll be covering all that in just a little bit. We're just looking at the design element for now. As you can see, it has the funding guide not too far down, which is pretty nice. And the overall grade for the homepage would be really high because the homepage looks pretty good. I like the design element of this. It's really, really a modern design. It's even interactive with some of those things as you scroll down. They move from side to side. You'll see that more later on in this video. But as soon as you go to the other pages, and also they have this annoying Lauren thing that always pops up. Go ahead and X out of that. And then you have the FAQ. The design of the FAQs is actually pretty decent. There's not that many FAQ items in here. It's not the most descriptive possible thing, but it is there. And the design element of the FAQ is also pretty good. Now those are pretty much the two most important ones. So for being the two most important ones, it is good to see that they have had quite attention to detail on those aspects. By the way, if you click Why Us, you're on the homepage. As you can see, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't scroll, it doesn't do anything. If you're on the homepage, then it will scroll down, but if you're not, then it won't do anything. Just a little weird there. Next is the partners page. So we have the partners page now, and you can see Lauren again. Go away, Lauren. Now on the partners page, it's just name, email, phone, country, and send. That's not partners. If you scroll down, there's no mention of who the partners are, where it's located, anything like that you'd think that you're gonna get access to when you go on the partners page. The partners page is just asking for your information. Are you a partner? I'm just joking, of course. So if you see this information, this kind of looks like the contact us, or what you expect this to be a contact us, minus maybe like an entry field to actually write a question. But if we go to the contact us page, you can see it takes just a couple seconds to load, and you can see that there is a contact us, and it says that they talk on Monday through Friday. I'll get through all this kind of stuff of how good they actually are about talking to this. That will all be mentioned in this video. As a little quote here, but that's it. It says reach out to our live chat. It doesn't give you the email, doesn't give you a phone number, doesn't give you anything else. It just has talk to our live chat. That's all it is. And I'll be getting into how good live chat is in just a little bit. But first I want to touch on the last element of the website, which is the social media page. The social media page is coming soon. And then it takes up a whole thing up there. And that's all it says, just coming soon. And of course, Lauren's here, of course, to bug us again. But that's it. It's just pretty much a bland website. All it has is just the homepage and the FAQ, pretty much. Of course, yes, there is other pages added to it. But in my opinion, as I said in the intro, this is mostly just those two elements are filled out, which again, those are the most important ones, so I do respect them for focusing on the right things. I would rather have the FAQ be filled out than the partner sentiment or the contact us page, but those would be really nice to be filled out as well. Along with the social media one, doesn't really matter too much. By the way, let's go ahead and take a look at their social media. They already have a social media, and as you can see from this, they actually post quite a bit. So they've actually been posting a pretty decent amount. They've been getting a decent amount of reactions on their newer posts as well. So they've been posting quite a bit, so I'm not really sure why they haven't added the whole social media section just yet, but for some reason they haven't. So overall, for the design, I'd have to give them a really good score for the actual cool animations and everything. I really like that aspect, but because so many things are actually missing, I'm definitely gonna have to knock points for that. So I'm gonna give them an overall C rating. Now they're definitely not average because they're just so good on the actual design elements, but on the design elements in terms of having the stuff available in the first place is gonna really hurt them. So I'm gonna give them a C rating for the design aspect of the business. Now let's go ahead and talk about easiness to find the core rules. So let's go ahead and go back into the homepage and of course X out the Lauren thing. Let's go ahead and scroll down and you can see the first, right away you can see what is required in stage 1. Stage 1, make 10%. Stage 2, make 5. Of course, that's very standard. Those are core rules. That's not all the core rules, of course. So if you scroll down a little bit more, maybe now we can see the core rules. Well, it kind of says the core rules. It now says the minimum trading days. That's now new information to us. We see a maximum daily loss. which let me go ahead and go to 100,000 just so it's a little easier for us to read. So it's gonna be 5% of a max daily loss. The max total loss, this is missing the word total. It's not a maximum loss, it's a maximum total loss. Because if it says this, then that makes it sound like it's just your biggest loss can't be $10,000. It doesn't say total from the beginning. This really could use a lot more work on exact wording here, but not so bad. Profit target is 10%, very standard, 10 and 5 for the 2 phases, challenge and verification. Then you have the fee down there as well, which I'll talk about the prices in just a little bit. But that's pretty much all you can see in terms of their core rules. If you go in here, it's kind of cool. They have these other things. You can see their leverage, which is really high. I'm surprised they kind of hide their leverage. It's way at the bottom, and it's really good. It's 1 in 200, which is really, really nice. That's really the overall core rules that they show you. So they're not really showing you that many core rules. And honestly, even if you can find these core rules on their homepage, it's not the easiest thing to actually find their homepage. If you were to go onto search right now, and you were to search for FMS or FMS traders, you might come across a couple different websites. So the first of which is functional movement. For some reason, if you type in FMS, this is the first thing that came up for me. Your results may be different. Totally different company, nothing to do with FMS Trader or Funny Made Simple. And then one other one is FMS Trading PLC. So maybe that's the right one, but this one says your connection is not private. This is like a warning that there might even be like some sort of issue, or like, I don't know if it's like a virus or whatnot. So I didn't even bother clicking through this. I didn't bother going through this one. I don't think this is the right one either, but it also has a really similar name. So this is also, I think, not the right one. If you search FMS Trading, those were how I found all those ones, the FMS Trading PLC. And then FMS was for that first one I showed you. But none of these, as you can see, are the real website. There's even the Funded Trader is even ranking better than them, which is completely separate company. By the way, that's the company that I have a partial ownership in. But it's totally different. They definitely need to work on their SEO, search engine optimization. So if you search for Funny Made Simple, you'll probably come across this one. Now you think because this is what their FMS stands for, this would be the right website, but I don't think it's the right one either. I think it's a completely separate company, I think, because it's a very, very different website with a very different tone. So I'm pretty sure this is a different website. Also not the right one, and I can't even find a link on here to go to the right one, so I'm pretty sure this is a completely different website. And as you can see, if you type in FMS Funny Made Simple, that is going to be the second result behind the actual Instagram. And even if you scroll down on here, you still can't even find the real one. You can find their Trustpilot, which I will definitely get into in this video, but you can't actually even find the real website. So it's pretty hard to get to. In case you forgot what it actually is, it's fmstraders.com. That's gonna be the real website for this particular prop firm. So overall, they're definitely gonna have to suffer quite a bit for the lack of SEO for finding the core rules, because it is so hard to find them in the first place. But once you find the website, it is pretty good. So overall, I would have to give them a C rating because it just wasn't so easy to find. And even once you found it, it really wasn't all the rules. It was just most of the rules all there. There's still some other things like REA is allowed. That's not really a core rule necessarily, but it kind of is. Is hedging allowed, trading allowed, all this kind of stuff. That's in the FAQ, but it's not on the homepage, so it's not the most easy thing to find. And just that's so difficult to find the main website in the first place. I'm definitely gonna have to give them a C tier for that particular aspect. Now let's go ahead and talk about the cost and the value. So scroll all the way back down, and I always like to use the $100,000 option because almost every prop firm has a $100,000 option. So a lot of prop firms have more or less. But this particular one, we're gonna be looking at this one to judge it essentially on how good the cost is. Now, one thing to keep in mind, on their old version of the website, they had the ability to choose the competitive option. But now, if you choose the competitive, it just says nothing. You can trade up to $0 to keep 80%. So you can't actually have their competitive as of right now. I will show you an email in just a little bit that apparently is coming soon again because they have it before. But there's essentially an issue before where they had a table where you can compare the different prices, and it was only $100 more for the competitive. And for the competitive, they gave you 2 times as much total maximum risk and also daily loss limit. So it was really not gonna make any sense. So that's definitely kind of a red flag right there because they're so similar in price and it's so much better. You'd have to think that there's probably some sort of issue there on their back end, which again, we'll get into all that in other people's reviews and everything in this video. But overall, to talk about the cost and value for this one, it's $660. And so far it's been pretty average. So I'm going to have to give them probably a D for that one because it is on the higher side of the costs. So I'm going to give them a D for the refundable fee. And now we're going to talk about the amount of hidden rules. Here's the good thing. I couldn't find any hidden rules on FMS Traders. There might be some, but there wasn't any that really stood out to me as being like a really, really good hidden rule. Pretty much everything is in their FAQ, and I don't consider stuff in the FAQ a hidden rule necessarily. If it's in their terms of service only, or if it's some of them they don't even mention at all, if they're just failing people for another reason, which by the way, I can't promise they're not doing. Once you see the reviews, you'll know what I'm talking about. But as far as I can tell, I couldn't find any hidden rules on the surface. Maybe there's a hidden rule that maybe is why some people are getting failed for no reason, but as far as I can tell, there is none, so I'm gonna have to give them an A for the hidden rules and also an A for the weird rules. So there's no weird rules as far as I can tell. Now let's go ahead and talk about their broker. For the broker for FMS is going to be Carbon Capital Pro. That's going to be the one that you have to use, and you have to only use instruments with a .r at the end. So they have a bunch of them. Some have .r, some of them don't. And it's a little confusing sometimes because I've accidentally tried to use the other one. It won't let you, so it's fine. It doesn't fail you or anything. If you attempt to use one that doesn't have the .r at the end, it just won't let you in the beginning, so that's absolutely fine. I'm not going to take away too many points for that, but I am definitely going to take away some points for having extra stuff on the broker that you literally can't trade. So it's kind of a push and pull there. Their spreads are pretty average, I'd have to say. The Bitcoin one's obviously not going to be true. It's not going to be 2 pips, depending on how you pick your pips. What is a pip on a Bitcoin? If you say it's going to be 1 cent, maybe that's accurate, but a lot of people say it's a lot less than 1 cent is 2 pips. So it's really just, Bitcoin doesn't have pips, essentially. It's something you can trade physically, or digitally, I should say. So it's really up to interpretation. Overall, I'd have to give the broker a score of a C. I think it's pretty average, nothing really too good about it, nothing too bad about it. Spreads are okay, pretty average, nothing really too good or bad there. Heading back over to the main website, we can now finally talk about the thing you've probably been waiting for the most, is talking about Lauren. So of course, Lauren is, maybe there's only one person named Lauren, or maybe, I'm not sure if there's only one person who talks here, but I have actually used this before. If you say, hi, hello. They really have not been very good. You can actually see some of the stuff I was saying to them before. Apparently it's just FMS. I don't know where Lauren went. Now it's just FMS. And I asked if I could know where people are before I purchased this whole thing, because I spent quite a bit of money on this investment. I got the $200,000 account. Apparently now it's Jonathan. So Jonathan maybe is going to be better than people before, but basically they haven't really been that good. A lot of times they've had quite a delay in how long they've replied. Not on the examples I'm showing here, but I scrolled up. I just want to show everything about there, but they've had quite a long delay in their customer service, so it really hasn't been all that great so far, but maybe that's going to be improved now. So hopefully their customer service is going to be better, but overall I'd have to give them probably a D for customer service. It's not too bad, it just takes a long time, and they're really not helpful at all from my experience. The last aspect I want to talk about before I give my overall opinion is going to be the reviews. So for this section, I'm going to 2 different places. I went to YouTube, of course, that's where this video is, and I like YouTube the most. So I'm going to be talking about YouTube, and also going to be looking at the Trustpilot rating for FMStraders.com. So as you can see right away, there is a total of 9 reviews, so not that many. That's definitely a bad sign. You want to see a lot more than 9 reviews if you're going to trust a prop firm company with your money. And usually you'd like to see a lot of excellent or great reviews. And fortunately for this company, they do have 1 excellent and 2 great reviews, but unfortunately they have 6 out of 9 of these reviews are going to be bad reviews. And as you can see by the very first one, I'll be going through all of them, but I won't be reading every single one. This one says, scam company, pass 100K challenge, and never received credentials for verification in over a month. Customer service won't offer refunds, stole my money basically. That's terrible. I really hope this is not true. Unfortunately, I think it might be true, but I definitely can't speak about it because I don't know this person. I don't know who ML is. So Sniper Assassin said if I could rate this company -, stars, I would. Easily the most scamming funded provider out there, and just to let you guys know, I worked in Intel in the Army, and I have damning evidence you guys are scamming hardworking people. So far I paid for a 50K account, past stage 1, and now they refuse to send me to stage 2 and saying that I can't have my money back. It's now been 2-3 weeks since stage 1 was passed and reviewed. So I'm really not sure what's happening here. A bunch of people thought that was useful. They didn't reply to either of these reviews yet. I don't think they've replied to any of these. So I'm just gonna be reading the titles for the rest of them. Fun account, negative experience. FMS is horrendous. Again, feel free to pause the video and read these if you'd like. A scam, stay away from. The customer service is non-existent. Like I said, their customer service in my experience as well was really bad, but they did respond pretty fast now, so maybe they fixed it, but at least for the time this was written, which was September 3rd, it was pretty bad. Anthony said, this is the first review I have written off my own back, and for good reason. These guys are absolute cowboys. So I think it's pretty interesting to use the word cowboys. I definitely wouldn't call someone a cowboy as really an insult, which I assume this is an insult just based off the star rating and also if you read his review. But I kind of have a positive image of cowboys. Maybe you guys are different from me, but that's how I think it. I'm talking about Bitcoin and stuff in this one. This next one is gonna be a positive review. It's the first positive review that we have seen. And this one says, early days, but I paid for the 100K. It's so far so good. The only concern is that if we were slow to give account details for 50K challenge, has been purchased with made me nervous. FTMO is much quicker. However, so far I'm loving the freedom to be able to trade crypto and being able to hold my account over the weekend. Less restraints, greater freedom than FTMO, only 2 days so far and up 6%. So props to this guy for being up. Hopefully he was able to pass that challenge, pass the verification, have his fund account. I really hope this guy was able to essentially not get an experience like the other people. For me specifically on my $200,000 account, it took 1 extra day, so around 24 hours or so, for me to get my credentials. So I don't know why this guy took so long. Maybe it's just a different situation. Maybe he bought before the weekend, because like it says on their website, they're only open on normal weekdays and only for certain hours. So maybe that's the case. I definitely can't speak on that. This next one says, I had a great experience with FMS. I have had great experience with FMS traders. I really like the ease of their platform. I also like that they offer various account sizes. When I purchased the 5K account, to see how it goes so far, and I'm at 5%. So props to this guy for being up. Good review there. But it sounds like both these two guys so far haven't actually received a funded account yet, which is what really matters. To know if a platform is legit, you pretty much just have to know, did it pay out? If you spend all this work and you pass a challenge, you pass a verification, you get a funded account, you do well in that funded account, are you gonna get any money? Well, these guys don't really have a good answer for us just yet. In these reviews, they're pretty much saying, I'm doing the challenge. The last one is the only 5-star review, and it's actually the first review, which is always a little suspicious when you see the very first review be 100%, not all the rest of them are bad. So it's pretty interesting just to see. You feel free to pause it and read this guy's review as well if you want to get an overall view of these 9 different reviews on fmstraders.com. So far, what I can tell is it's a mostly negative review of FMS traders from the community, along with that YouTube comment that I showed you earlier. So it's definitely going to be a pretty bad rating. I'm going to have to give them a D. Only reason why I don't want to give them an F is because I haven't seen really good proof that they're actually scamming people. There's not too many bad reviews. It's pretty bad. Trustpilot's rating of 2.6, so I'm going to be giving them a D rating. Maybe you think it's an F, maybe you think it's a C. Let me know in the comments below if you disagree with me. The last thing I want to mention before I give you my overall review of fmstraders.com is going to be this view on the screen right here. As you can see from up here, the FMS account credentials. They're like, oh no, am I leaking my account credentials? No, they use that title for a lot of their emails. And so it's kind of annoying because I actually ended up buying this for myself. And so I'm like, well, which one's the actual account credentials? When I was looking later, it's not a big deal. It's just kind of unprofessional for it to be the same title as actual account credentials. They're just the news. So this is essentially what's going to happen soon. So this is pretty cool that they're still updating it. This was from 17 hours ago. So they are still going. They are still a company. They're still sending out emails. So there's definitely some effort still being put in. I really like that to see them get better SEO. I really like to see them respond to the comments on their Trustpilot and just be able to show that they're involving the community. They have an Instagram and a YouTube page already, so may as well just go one step further and actually be able to reply to people's reviews on your company. So I definitely would recommend doing all those. Hopefully you can work on the SEO situation and work on the website overall. The design is really good for the parts that are designed, but to me, this really seems like a prop firm company that wasn't really ready to be a prop firm company yet. It feels like they kind of started too soon. It seems like they should have waited a little while, got everything situated, and then launched their prop firm company. So this is unfortunately probably the case. So I'm going to have to give them an average C rating for this. This is my overall review, provided they are legitimate, which I hope they are. But I definitely, according to these reviews, if these reviews are accurate, that would not be legitimate. So hopefully these reviews are wrong. I definitely can't say that are wrong or right, or hopefully those were only very niche situations and the traders didn't give the full context. So because of that, I'm going to give these guys an overall C rating. Let me know if you disagree with me. Maybe you guys think they deserve a little better rating, maybe you deserve a little worse. Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see the next video in this series, check out this video right here.